Hello, friends, greetings. Welcome to Retracing My Africa in the Diaspora, and thank you for joining me once again. It's been a while, friends, since I came here to do a long video, and today I just really wanted to come and do a longer version, just be able to connect with those of you who are still waiting on your diversity visa, basically. Yeah. I'm aware, guys, that some of you have had your visas delayed for reasons unbeknownst to all of us. We don't know what might be going on at the embassy. I guess it depends on which country you are, but I have had people talking about this slow process at the US Embassy in Nairobi. I can't confirm this, but I have heard a lot of people complaining. So, friends, I'm here. By the way, I've done a video previously on the art of waiting. Please check it out on my channel. If you have time, have a look. But I wanted to talk about waiting again, because I know that when you wait for something that doesn't seem to be coming, it can be so disappointing, so disappointing. And I kind of just know the feeling. I know the feeling, so I want to connect with you guys today. I know that some of you have been waiting. You had low case numbers, good case numbers, and you just knew for sure you're going to be getting an interview and preparing yourself and traveling and relocating to the US. And as time has moved on, the weeks have gone by and weeks have turned into months, and we are almost mid-year, and now you just wonder. It just seems like whatever you had gotten, this bird that you had gotten in your hand, is just basically slowly slipping away. And I know that that can feel so bad. I imagine that some people are already disappointed and angry, and just feeling so betrayed by the whole process. I can't even imagine what that feels like, because I remember there were some people who had gotten green cards or selected for green cards in, I want to say 2020, 2021, and they ended up not coming to the US because of the COVID-19. And it was such a bad situation for them. They lost a great opportunity. And I feel like for some of you, maybe this is what's also happening. And you just wonder, like, God, why is all this happening? And I'm here to tell you guys that sometimes we wait for things and they don't seem like they're coming, but it's because God really just wants us to learn to depend on Him, to learn to trust in Him, to learn to allow Him to have His way. Okay. And somebody might say, oh, you're saying that and you're so privileged and you're living in America and you're coming to tell us what. And I am actually speaking out of experience, guys. Some of us, we have stories. We just haven't told these stories. We haven't told our stories. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked if you had some of our stories. When I tell you, by the way, friends, that my idea in around 5 years ago, in 2020, when the COVID was beginning, I also was trying to return to the US, because I think some of you know I had gone to school here, and I was like, maybe I just need to go back to the US because things were just not working for me. But I came here on a student visa, so it's not like I had a citizenship and I could just jump on a plane and come back. Things weren't working for me back home in Kenya, and I just was frustrated like anybody else. And then I tried to find my way out, and then that didn't work because there was all these lockdowns going on. And then I started thinking, you know what, maybe I should go back to Rwanda, because I used to work in Rwanda. Then I started to apply for work there again, and things were just not going well. I can't even put it in details, it would be a long story, but somehow that door was just closed for me. And Rwanda is like a second home to me, guys. I love Rwanda so much. I spent precious years there teaching at the university. And so for me, and I also learned Kinyarwanda and the culture while I was there, and I always call myself Munyarwanda by heart. So I just kept on thinking, that's where God wants me to go. So I kept on trying. When I didn't get this job, I would try another one, and I just kept on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I remember at one time, I used to have these very bad headaches, and I had to go and see a doctor about it. And He was just talking to me and asking me what is going on. And I explained to him my frustrations of finding work back in Rwanda. And I remember this doctor telling me, maybe you should forget about going back there. Maybe your time there is over. And I left his office feeling so bad. I was like, what's this guy telling me, Because I was still so preoccupied with going back. But as God would have it, when I applied for my green card in 2022 and got my first notification letter from the State Department in 2023, I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. So, that's when I began realizing that God has a very different plan for me. And so, why am I saying all this? I'm just saying this, guys, to let you know that um, we have to learn to wait on God. We must learn to wait. Because sometimes we may be pushing towards a certain direction, and maybe that's not where God would have you go. And let me say this, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get your green card to come to America. There are people who are going to get those green cards and they will come to America. Then there are those who will not be so lucky. And so maybe I'm doing this message just to preempt the situation for you, so that in the event that this happens, you don't lose your faith. Don't lose your faith. Just guys, just have that attitude that if this hasn't worked out for me, Lord, I believe you have a better plan. You have a better plan for me. And if you keep that attitude, let me tell you, the Lord will open a door that you never imagined would open. That's what I can tell you. He will open a door that you will just be like, wow, is this me? Is this my life? You won't believe it. Yeah, so just be faithful. I'm going to very briefly share an example from Genesis, the book of Genesis. I want to say chapter 15, actually 13, 14, 15. This is the story of Abraham and how God is working with him throughout his life. Him and his wife Sarai, they desire to have children. They don't have children. They are aging. And God keeps on promising him that I will bless you. You will have offspring. You will have descendants that outnumber the stars in the sky. And even though as he got older and they're not seeing these children or these descendants, guess what? Abraham continues to be faithful. The Bible tells us that he was every time he moved, those days they were like pastoralists. They moved a lot. They would move from place to place. Sometimes they moved because of famine and drought. Other times they could move because of war, if they were escaping conflict of some kind, this kind of thing. And the Bible tells us that every time Abraham resettled somewhere, he put up an altar for God. He really, really honored God. He lived his life in such a way as to bring glory to the name of God. And because of that, and also because of his faith, the Bible tells us he was commended for his faith. He was commended for his faith. And because of that, God blessed him. He later had his son Ishmael, and then he had Isaac, and then he had many, many more children, grandchildren. He had descendants that outnumbered the stars, according to how God had promised him. So I'm just sharing this illustration to say, guys, please keep the faith. Whatever happens, whether you get that visa, that green card or not, keep the faith. Yeah, if you keep the faith, if you keep on believing and demonstrate to God that you are holding on, regardless of the circumstances around you, regardless of the situation, he will open that door eventually. For some of you, he'll open the door for you to eventually come to the States. Then for some of you, he'll open the door for other opportunities that will be far better than your relocation to the United States of America. So that's what I wanted to come and share, friends. I wanted to encourage you because the Bible tells us to edify one another. So I wanted to encourage somebody out there to just let them know that God is in control. He knows you from the beginning to the end, and He will never let you be ashamed. He will never let you be ashamed. In the very end, even your enemies will see that He has laid out a table for you. For sure, your job is to have faith. All right. So thank you so much for listening, friends. And I hope that this video has been a blessing to you. If you liked it, please remember to give it a thumbs up and share. And if you haven't already followed, I would very much like to have you here. Please consider following. Thank you so much and take it easy. Bye-bye.